Stand by.
Event 13 is underway. 4 different intervals. The first will be 2 minutes, the second will be 2 minutes, the third 2 minutes as well, and the fourth will be 3 minutes. We will have a 1-minute reset between each round. The work being done now is just a buy-in. It's the yoke that counts.
And it's one heck of a buy-in. 20 GHD sit-ups is really nothing to bat your eyes at, especially when these athletes have all been tested at a similar movement that we saw that popped up in the quarterfinals that actually had 180 GHD sit-ups come in.
Justin Medeiros was off the GHD right before Pat Vellner. They have to do a burpee and throw the cheese curd that weighs 100 pounds up and over that hay bale. First time we've seen the hay bale since 2017, which was our first year here in Madison, Wisconsin. They'd have to do 8 reps here, then it's on to the 605-pound yoke, and they will try to carry that as far as they can in the remaining time left in the 2-minute window.
And the beauty of this event is it takes a few different components we've seen over the years and couples them together with the, you see the sandbags over the haystacks, the heavy yokes. We saw that in the Madison triplet. And we see in the yokes in Aeneas in that final event back in 2018. In this format, you really have to get as far as you can as early as possible. And no surprise to see someone in a 2-2-2-3 format, Noah Olsen out to an early lead.
Noah Olsen, Royce Dunn, Heinrich Happelainen, Bjorgvin Carl Gudmundsson, and Cole Sager were among the first men to the yoke. Pat Vellner and Justin Medeiros are right in the middle of the field, and they are next to each other with now 10 seconds to go, and Royce Dunn is
Did someone forget to tell Royce Dunn how much weight's on the yoke?
Dunn, Olsen, and Gudmundsson are your leaders, and Gudmundsson has about 10 feet to go. He's got to get into the white in order to finish.
There is no more shocked person on this field than Dave Castro.
These guys are breaking his event.
No one on the demo team could complete this in less than 3. And we just had 4 athletes do this in nearly 1.
30 seconds until round 2 begins.
What just happened?
I don't know. That is, like I said, I think these guys just broke the event. You might need to switch it off and on again to reset this thing, because it is, what we just saw was incredible.
Do they have to go back?
Second round, 2 minutes. Very likely someone's going to finish inside this interval.
Think about the screaming pace you're going to see from 4 or 5 of these athletes that have all but 5 to 10 feet left to finish this event.
They're trying to get that 605-pound yoke into that end zone first. As we already know, Gudmundsson, Adler, Happelainen, Olsen, all fighting for that first place position here in the event.
Happelainen, Adler, and Olsen, along with Bjorgvin Carl Gudmundsson, were the 4 men who got their yokes into the final section. As Justin Medeiros and Brent Fikowski are onto their burpees over the hay bales with that 100-pound cheese curd.
Olsen still in the mix.
5 remaining for Medeiros, who just needs to keep Pat Vellner in his rearview mirror in this event to not surrender any more points to him.
Chuck, coming into this event, I was looking at a triplet of a time frame of 10 to 12 minutes. That's the style of event we're going to have. These athletes changed the event by how fast they're going. Completely changed the event.
Fikowski and Medeiros are done. Now here comes Pat Vellner. They're the 3 men in the middle of the screen. They're the first men done with the work that you need to do in order to get to the yoke.
You cannot rush the first step. You have to stand secure and then move. If you start moving before you got it in control, it's going to come crashing down.
Pat Vellner continues to work. Bjorgvin Carl Gudmundsson is on his yoke, and Gudmundsson is going to win the event. Medeiros is catching up. Vellner is in, but Medeiros is right behind him. So Vellner will only pick up 5 points on Medeiros. Olsen, Dunn, and now Happelainen are in. Travis Mayer and Cole Sager are done as well.
Oh, and I think Fikowski and Vino, look at that. Look at the difference between athletes, but how close Fikowski and Vino got to the finish line. You have to get past the black. And you can see Fikowski and Vino's yoke just a matter of feet away. And now they have to do 20 more GHDs, 8 more sandbags over the haystack. That is just heartbreaking.
605 pounds on that yoke, and 8 men have now finished the event. Jorgen Carl Gudmundsson wins, Velder's in second, Medeiros third, Olsen in fourth, and Adler in fifth. The third round is underway. 12 men still on the field.
3 athletes are all within 10 feet of finishing. We said Fikowski and Vino being the 2. And it looks like all the way over in lane 20, Haapalainen is right at the blue. And it really matters on how quickly you get through this, because who gets to the yoke first with how much left? Think about what we're taxing before we get to the yoke. I know they didn't make it look like 600 pounds, right? But that is one of the heaviest yokes we've ever had in competition at this distance for sure. But you're smashing the anterior part of your core with GHDs, and the intensity of the GHDs, which affects your midline stabilization. Now you're picking up a curd under intensity, doing a burpee and throwing it over a hay bale. So you're messing with your entire midline stability and then throwing yourself underneath that yoke. That's the trick of this event, is making that yoke harder. Save for Royce Dunn.
Visit kalo.com/CrossFit to shop the official ring of the 2021 No Bull CrossFit Games. 12 men left here in this third of 4 intervals. The final one will be 3 minutes, but I don't know if we're going to need it, except for maybe a couple athletes. But just incredible that 8 men finish this in 2 intervals. Jason Hopper, Brent Fikowski, Alex Vino, and Royce Dunn. Dunn closest to your screen. Hopper is at the far end of the white. Hopper's onto the yoke, trying to work that thing into the white. Vino is across. And now here comes Fikowski. Royce Dunn is finished. Baden Brown making a charge here on the outside. Brown gets in. 5 men left in the final 3-minute window here.
I had my lanes mixed up. Actually, that was Hopper that sneaked up ahead of Fikowski.
Saxon Panchik is one of the 5 men who has not finished, and he is in 4th place overall. He's only 2 points up on Bjorn Gudmundsson, so Gudmundsson is going to move into at least 3rd. He may have passed Fikowski as well.
Now, Sean, we've talked about over the last 4 days is the different type of tests we have within the programming. Strength isn't the same thing across the board. Medeiros won the sprint. Super intense, powerful athlete. Smash the snatch. Super intense, powerful, precise athlete. And now we have a grunt work heavy yoke. Not all strengths are created equal, and that's the beauty of the test that we have out here.
Gudmundsson should find himself in 4th place after this event. Final 3-minute window.
The one thing that we also have to think about is the compounding effect that these athletes are having to go through. They are doing twice as much work as your top 10 athletes in the field that finish in just 2 rounds. That adds up. 40 extra GHDs at maximum intensity is going to affect you later down the road. Burpees over a hay bale with that sandbag is going to affect you down the road, and that time under tension that it takes. So this is a major disadvantage for the athletes that are still stuck on this last round.
CBDMD, the CBD you can trust. Visit cbdmd.com/CrossFit and use promo code CrossFit to get 30% off your order today. The 6 men left are Saxon Panchik, Scott Panchik, Guy Mayeros, Lazar Jukic, and Will Morad. Bottom left, Pat Vellner, Justin Medeiros, and Bjorn Carl Gudmundsson having a chat.
Look at that. You're sitting there laughing and chilling in front of a fan, and it's nice and cool out here this morning, while other athletes that were trying to contend with you are getting smoked out in the competition floor.
Here comes Guy Mayeros, who, along with Tia Toomey and Annie Thorsdottir, stole the show last night, winning the 1-rep max snatch. Scott Panchik is onto the yoke as well. Mayeros trying to get into the...
And that's tough to do with a knee injury.
And Panchik is going to gut through it. He's across. Remember, 3 minutes in this.
Oh, he got ahead of him.
Leaves Saxon Panchik, Will Morad, and Lazar Jukic out on the field. And Will Morad is now just crossing midfield. Saxon Panchik again came in 4th place overall, and he's going to find himself falling down the leaderboard after this.
I think Saxon picked the wrong height on the yoke. That was very, very low. He's basically doing a quarter squat with 600 pounds. You could choose where you wanted to be between 3 different heights. See, Will Morad, he's just unlocking the knees, and the yoke just needs to get off of the ground. Where Saxon, that was a very low yoke position for him. I would have thought you'd want it a little bit higher.
Will Morad, the only man who will not finish. And like you said, I think Dave Castro is going to have to pick up the pieces from his event that just got broken by all these athletes.
It's like, all right, do it again, but the women still have to use 605 pounds.